Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 1308.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to talk about 5 reasons to invest in artificial intelligence, or AI, now. Well, we are already starting to see AI make a huge difference in the stock market. And just in case you haven't noticed, let me point out a few things that are crazy right now. As you already know, the Magnificent Seven, the 7 largest companies in the S&P 500, have been grabbing most of the performance in the S&P 500. What do I mean by that? Well, actually, those top 7 largest companies are responsible for 35% of the gains in the S&P 500. You know, Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, Microsoft, Meta, Netflix, and Tesla. But what's happened recently is actually historic. It's historic because for the first time ever, a company added $200 billion to its market capitalization in one single day. Do you know who I'm talking about? Meta, formerly Facebook, of course, went up $200 billion in one day following its fourth quarter earnings report and an announcement that it was going to start paying a small dividend. That's a huge change because tech stocks typically don't pay dividends. They typically reinvest in their technology, but they don't typically pay a dividend out in cash. That's a good thing for large pension funds and large institutions that like to have a dividend, and that makes Meta's stock much more attractive, even if it is a very small dividend. They also announced a share buyback program of $50 billion. And when you look at the Magnificent Seven, altogether, they've added a combined $3 trillion of market cap in 2024. And if you go back to October of 2023, the total gains for the Magnificent Seven are approaching $5 trillion. So what we need to realize is that these large companies are taking a huge share of the market and are providing a huge share of the gains. And that's why it's so important to have some of these large cap companies, or mega cap companies as really they're called, in your portfolio. You need to have a mega cap strategy. Now, there's a few different ways you can do that. You can do that by investing in an ETF or something that focuses on those companies. That's one way. And of course, if you buy the S&P 500, you'll own those big Magnificent Seven as well, along with 493 other companies that may not be doing so well. But what is the major reason why these large 7 mega companies have been outperforming the rest of the market? In general, it's artificial intelligence, or AI. Not only have they been talking about AI, but they've been using AI and implementing it in their businesses. And that's been saving them money and increasing their profits. A friend of mine who works at Amazon says that at every meeting, they are to discuss what is it that they're doing with AI. Every single time they get together, they must report on what they're doing to use AI in their business. Not only can AI be used for things like writing, and by the way, Amazon had to just limit how many books can be published a day per person to 3. Yes, 3. That means people are using AI to write books and sell them quite successfully. So now they're limited to only being able to write and publish 3 books per day on Amazon. Aside from writing, of course, it can create animation, it can create drawings, it can create photographs of people, it can write scripts, movie scripts. It can create design. There are ways to use AI to design your interiors. There's so many uses and applications for AI, we don't even know the full ramifications of machine learning. But what we do know is it's going to cut costs quite a bit in the future and increase profits. And that's going to make the stock market soar for the rest of this decade, in my opinion. I wrote about some of this in my book, 3 Steps to Quantum Wealth, The Wealth Heiress's Guide to Financial Freedom by Investing in Cryptocurrencies. Although I had more of a cryptocurrency angle, I was talking about all of the new technology that is being introduced this decade and how this is so similar to the introduction of the internet and the dot-com bubble of the 90s. History certainly looks like it's repeating itself, and that's good news for you because massive wealth is going to be created during all this technological revolution. But you have to have a strategy for it. Now, as I said, one strategy might be to invest in an ETF. That's fine. But you also want to try to get in early into some of these companies. And one way to do that is through private equity. By investing in private equity, you're able to invest in companies before they go public. So it's like buying the stock wholesale before they're sold on the stock market at a retail price. By getting in early, you're also investing in a company when it's younger. And if the company is already having some major success, then it may have reached what we call unicorn status, which is $1 billion in market capitalization. And once they've reached unicorn status, there's less risk of them going out of business or having financial troubles because they've crossed an important demarcation line of $1 billion of market capitalization. So private equity would be another way to invest in artificial intelligence. And there are chip companies that are still private. There are AI companies working with the government in software, etc. There's different applications of AI, but definitely private equity is another option for you. And certainly individual stocks, either the Magnificent Seven or other AI companies that could be involved in many different aspects of AI or focused on software for different services. One example is Palantir. Palantir was said to have created its software for the government, and yesterday had blowout earnings due to AI, and it was up 25% in one day. Now, it doesn't mean that AI companies are always going to go crazy, but what we do know is that in the next 6 years, artificial intelligence is said to increase $220 trillion in value. That is a mind-boggling number. $220 trillion in value, which is about equivalent to worldwide debt on the planet right now. So as much debt exists on the entire planet right now, the value of AI is supposed to increase that much in just 6 years. Something like this that's growing so incredibly fast is not something that we see very often. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you to take advantage of it and increase your wealth. So make sure you have a strategy to take advantage of these gains in AI. And if you want to learn more about that, check out the Be Wealthy and Smart VIP experience. It's on my website at lindapjones.com. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.